Course correct was genius. If I was still at Stansfield, something I would have thought of.
Thank you. Finally.
Taking the stand and telling the whole world you created it is less than genius.
Braden is a character who's finally found something he's good at, the game. But towing the fine line of morality and what he stands for, Braden was thrown into the deep end in Season 2 when Kane asked him to kill Lauren. But this is what Braden wanted. He wanted to be in the game, and now he's in it. Now, although he's proved he's been able to hold it down when it comes to the corners of Queens, to licks with Kane, and also in the courtroom, this is going to be the defining season for Brayden Weston, because just like everybody else, he's going to be plunged deeper into the game. At the end of Season 2, he took the fall for course correct, which resulted in him being suspended from Stansfield, and now he's going to be put to work at his father's hedge fund, where he's going to be working under his uncle Lucas Weston. This was an exclusive clip between Braden and his uncle Lucas, who seemed impressed with course correct. He said that's something he would have done if he was at Stansfield, and so this may give us a clue as to how Tariq and Braden will start to move product in Wall Street. It seems like Lucas doesn't mind breaking the rules, and to move product through Wall Street, they will need help, just like Tariq had to approach Sebastian Stan in Season 1. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see Braden approaching his uncle Lucas and bringing him into the game. But when he brings Tariq St. Patrick on board, they're going to be mixing their two businesses together. But that's not all. If the trailer for Season 3 is to anything to go by, then it's time for Brayden Weston to get his hands dirty, which is why I think this is the moment for Braden to complete his transformation.
I can break my word, protect everything I've ever known. Or I can keep my word, protect myself, and become the person I never thought I'd become.
Stick to what he stood for or go against everything he's believed in. And that's something I think will come full circle for Braden, who's destined to get his first kill for the series in Power Book 2 Ghost Season 3. Now, Braden was introduced to us in Season 5 of Power, where he was Tariq's roommate and best friend at college. He helped him to sell drugs and became his partner in crime, something that continued in Season 2 of Ghost when they met at Stansfield. Being a Western, he proved extremely valuable to Tariq's operation, and Tariq knew the advantages of bringing someone like a Western on board, but they faced various hurdles from Kane's manipulation, course correct, as well as Lauren's death, which we'll come to in just a moment. But something I think is worth rewinding it back to is how they described Braden's character prior to Season 2. He was a character that was described as loyalty, which pretty much summed up Braden's role in Season 2. Despite Braden working with Kane behind Tariq's back, which is something he was warned of, when it came down to it, Braden chose the game. He chose to protect not just Tariq St. Patrick and the Tejadas in court, but also his family, Trace Weston. He was able to protect everybody apart from Lauren, but unfortunately, sometimes sacrifices have to be made, and that's how the game goes. Family and innocent lives always get caught in the crossfire, and Trace Weston is also another character who isn't fully aware of the consequences of snitching. He also knows who Kane is and what they were up to in Season 1, so he may prove to be a problem yet again. So where Braden now knows the game isn't all fun and games, I'm expecting some tough moments and decisions for his character. Now, another family member I alluded to in my death predictions video was his sister, Rebecca Weston. It seems like she's a character who will be joining Stansfield in Season 3, and she's no stranger to drugs either, but she's a consumer rather than a supplier. And in my death predictions, I broke down how she referenced to how she could overdose and her place at Stansfield will still be safe. Now, at this moment in time, Stansfield is plagued with death after death. So far, we've seen Boz being killed by 2-Bit, both of Tariq's professors being killed, as well as Zeke. So could we be in for yet another? But I will leave the link to this video down below in the description and comment section, where I break down Becca Weston's conversation along with the rest of my death predictions. Now, the boys will be back in business when Braden brings Tariq's into his father's hedge fund in Wall Street, and this is where we're going to see them mixing the corporate world with the street game. I think we can all assume Braden will have this eagerness to continue selling drugs because he wants to come out of the shadow of his parents and build his own legacy. Ironic, because he mentions to Tariq St. Patrick in one of the teasers, he doesn't want to end up anything like him.
So what are you gonna do for this family? I don't want to end up like you.
But what does he mean by he doesn't want to end up like Tariq St. Patrick? We all know Tariq St. Patrick is a killer who's had to commit countless of murders on this path he's chosen, a journey which has led him to lose everybody close to him, and I think that's the fear that Braden has. He doesn't want to lose any of his family members and end up all alone like Tariq St. Patrick, because that's the harsh reality of the game. In this quest for power, powder, and respect, you don't just toe the fine line of morality and ethical dilemmas, you lose countless of loved ones through lies and death. But again, I do think we need to remember, Brayden Weston chose his life just like Tariq St. Patrick, and now he has no option but to play by the game's rules.
Look, you found the game, okay? The game ain't find you. See, where I'm from, that shit comes straight to your front door, but you made a choice.
But what is Braden gonna do for this family, meaning his street family, Tariq St. Patrick, Effie, and Kane? Early in season 3, it seems like we're gonna see a partnership form between these 4 characters, and Braden will be playing a key role, especially with them mixing the drug game in Braden's family business. Now, whether this is something Braden is actually down for, or whether this is something Tariq is giving him no choice with, is yet to be seen. But we all know Braden will try and keep his family safe at all costs, similar to when he tried to keep the photo of his father and Rick Sweeney away from Tariq St. Patrick, and how he took the stand. Now, something that will really test the relationship between Tariq and Braden is a secret surrounding Lauren. Braden was given the task to take Lauren safely out the city, but in an attempt to keep their street family out of danger, Effie approached Kane and made him aware Lauren caught him and Braden on a wire. He then tasked Braden to kill Lauren. Now, Braden couldn't go through with killing Lauren, but Effie could. Now, looking at this from Braden's perspective, he was also backed into a corner by Kane. He told him, if you don't kill Lauren, then I'll kill you. Now, whether Tariq St. Patrick sees this from Braden's perspective, or whether he realizes it was actually the best that Lauren was taken off the chessboard, it seems that this will cause a problem between them. We're going to see Tariq and Braden embroiled in a fight, and most likely the moment where he uncovers the truth. But I really do think Braden has proved his loyalty a number of times for him to have enough credit in the bank. So where I think Lauren's death will cause long-term problems with Effie and Kane, I think Braden and Tariq will be able to look past this, eventually. Now, one of the key elements I do think we need to break down when it comes to Braden is his relationship with Kane Tejada. They first met in season 1 when Kane came looking for Tariq at Stansfield, but when Kane put him to work on the corners of Queens, he saw what he was capable of and how he was able to hold it down. So it was in season 2 where we really saw their relationship hit another level. Braden helped Kane on various licks behind Tariq's back, but more so through manipulation from Kane. Kane was being mentored by Mecca, and he taught him the best way to get control over Tariq St. Patrick is to get control over the rich kid. He then used a clever strategy from Law 31 from the 48 Laws of Power. Control the options, get others to play the cards you deal. To deceive people, sometimes you have to give them meaningful choice, but in reality, you're only limiting their options to a few that work in your favor, regardless of the choice they make, and that's how Kane kept control. For example, when he seemed as if he gave Braden a choice of killing Lauren, when in reality, he only had one: kill Lauren or Kane kills him. Now, the reality of working behind Tariq St. Patrick's back really began to hit home when Tariq was charged for a double homicide through Kane planting the badge in Tariq's drawer. So Braden will be a bit more wary when it comes to Kane, but no doubt, these are 2 characters who love working together, and I'm sure that's something we're gonna see continue in season 3. But whether Kane could potentially have him pull the trigger is yet to be seen, but he gave him a gun and he asked him to use it once before, so I wouldn't be surprised if he asked him to pull the trigger yet again. So Braden's first kill and Kane's role is definitely something to keep in mind. Now, elsewhere we've seen Tariq have multiple love interests throughout seasons 1 and 2, but this time love seems to be in the air for Brayden Weston. In the trailer for season 3, we see him and Kiki Travis, who's a young VP at a Wall Street firm. She's Ivy League educated, but doesn't come from privilege, but is still making her own way in the world of business elite. Now, something we have to bear in mind when it comes to Braden and a new love interest is what happened in his past with Riley Merchant. Tariq was never fond with Riley, and he had a good reason. He knows love can sometimes get in the middle of business, so Kiki Travis may be one to keep an eye on. Can she be trusted? Riley Merchant is also a character who could return at any given stage, so I wonder if we could be in for a return for Riley. But that's a breakdown of Braden's character and what we can expect for season 3. We're going to see the drug game mixing with his family business, the truth surrounding Lauren being revealed, a new love interest, but also many trust issues. But this is the moment for Brayden Weston. Season 3 is where I think he takes that dark turn, and where he pulls the trigger. So drop all your thoughts down below on all things Brayden Weston, but as always, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.